Things are about to get much more expensive, folks. Starting November 1st, the US slapped a 25% tariff on imported medium and heavy trucks. That same week, new tariffs hit lumber and furniture. Sounds tough on foreign countries, right? Well, let's talk about who actually ends up paying the bill. Let's break down what tariffs really are, bust some of those myths, and talk about impacts in rural communities. A tariff is just a tax on imports. When a US company buys something that's made abroad, the government charges extra at the border. That cost doesn't vanish. It travels through the distributors, through the retailers, through the freight companies that are hauling those products until it lands on the final buyer with the final price tag, you. So let's bust some of these myths around what tariffs do and don't do. First myth, tariffs punish China, not us. Reality here, most tariffs get paid by American importers, not foreign factories. They either raise their prices or they eat the cost. A 2025 Peterson Institute review found US businesses and consumers bear more than 90% of tariff costs. Myth number 2, tariffs protect US jobs. Sometimes, briefly, maybe, but there's a lot of nuance and complexity here. For every factory that benefits, others pay more for inputs. When tariffs hit steel, aluminum, or truck and auto parts, the industries that use those materials, they lose jobs. Historically, about 3 downstream jobs are lost for every 1 job that's protected from via tariffs. Myth number 3, farmers don't feel tariffs, they sell food, not trucks. Well, not quite. Rural economies depend on both imports in terms of equipment, fertilizer, machinery, and the like, as well as exports. The grain, the beef, the milk that's produced has to go somewhere and be sold to somebody. So when the US raises tariffs, trading partners hit back. Often, they target our farm goods. We saw that in 2018 and 2019 when those soybean and pork exports to China cratered. We're seeing them again this year, where the soybean market is completely evaporated. So what's the rural reality here? For rural producers, tariffs show up in invoices. New or replacement trucks, tractors, and parts jump 10 to 25%. Lumber and building materials for barns, homes, workshops, and the like, they all rise. Fuel and fertilizer follow if global supply chains end up tightening. Margins, which are already incredibly small, shrink even more, especially for small and mid-sized operations that can't bulk buy or pass costs on down the line. A lot of farmers have prices set for them. They're selling at what the market is willing to pay. Why is this moment different? Well, these new tariffs land while the government's already shut down, especially if this shutdown keeps on going through into November. Egg markets are still soft right now. There's talk of a new $15 billion bailout for farmers that are hit by trade retaliation, but that's taxpayer money patching a self-inflicted wound. It's a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. What do farmers do next year if those markets still don't exist? Historically, bailout checks flow faster to those larger producers that have staff and accountants and able to take advantage of them quicker, less so to those small farms still waiting on loan officers. So what could happen next? Expect retaliation from Canada, Mexico, and Asia. That can mean tariffs on corn, soybeans, and dairy. And if history repeats itself, the political blame game starts immediately. But it doesn't matter because the damage will all be done in local economies. Our local economies move on trucks. They build with lumber. They sell overseas to foreign markets. So when you hear the word tariff, don't picture some distant trade war. Picture the price tag on your next truck, your next auto part, your bale of lumber, whatever it may be. Because out here, tariffs don't make the headlines, they make the receipts. In our next video, we'll talk about how farm bailouts actually work and who really gets the money. Till then, this is Kellen from 3 Rural White Guys.